It was a rainy night in late October, the kind of night where the world hides behind the fog. Jack, a truck driver with more than 20 years on the road, was hauling a load of furniture from Chicago to Nashville, crossing the foggy Appalachian Mountains. The rain came down in thick sheets, and the fog swallowed the road ahead. The wipers squeaked and groaned, barely keeping up. The asphalt glistened like black glass, alive, slick, breathing. That stretch of highway had always been dangerous. Sharp turns, steep cliffs, and a silence that felt aware. Jack kept both hands tight on the wheel. The radio played nothing but static, a faint, whispering kind of noise that filled the cab. That's when he saw her, a woman, standing by the side of the road, alone, dressed in white, completely soaked, motionless under the storm. The headlights illuminated her face for just a second. Pale skin, lifeless eyes. Jack hit the brakes hard, heart pounding. He killed the engine, opened the door, and stepped out into the freezing rain. But when he looked again, she was gone. Nothing there but the sound of water slapping the asphalt and the hum of the wind. Shaken, he climbed back in, told himself he was tired, but the feeling of being watched clung to him like the fog itself. He turned up the radio to drown it out. The static shifted, soft at first, then clearer, until he heard it. Jack. He froze, slowly turned his head toward the rear-view mirror, and saw her, the woman in white sitting in the passenger seat, dripping wet, her face ghostly pale, her eyes pure black. Jack screamed, the truck skidded, fishtailed, nearly went off the road, and then she was gone. Hours later, still shaking, he pulled into a small diner off the interstate. He ordered a black coffee and sat in silence. A group of truckers at the counter were watching him. One of them stood up, walked over, and said quietly, "Let me guess. You saw the woman on the curve." Jack looked up, pale as chalk. The man gave a tired smile. "You're not the first. They say she died out there trying to get help after an accident. Ever since, she shows up on rainy nights, sometimes to warn you, sometimes to take you." Jack never drove that route at night again, but whenever it rains and his radio starts to hiss, he swears he still hears that same soft voice whisper from the passenger seat. Jack. Mike was a calm family man, the kind of trucker who'd been everywhere and seen it all. But one moonless night on a deserted highway in New Mexico, something changed forever. The road stretched endlessly into the dark. No lights ahead, no tail lights behind, just the hum of the tires and the lonely whistle of the wind. Then out of nowhere, he saw her, a little girl, standing by the shoulder of the road. She couldn't have been more than 8, long dark hair, dirt on her dress. She stood perfectly still, eyes wide and empty. Mike slowed to a stop and jumped out of the cab. "Hey, sweetie, are you okay? Where are your parents?" No answer. He turned to grab his flashlight, and when he looked back, she was gone. A chill crawled up his spine. He searched the area. Nothing, not a sound. Finally, he climbed back into the truck, shaking his head. But the radio came to life again. Not music, not static. Laughter. Soft, high-pitched laughter, the kind that shouldn't be there. He switched the dial. The laughter stayed. It followed him for days. Sometimes a whisper, sometimes a faint lullaby. The radio turned on by itself, even when the truck wasn't running. He stopped sleeping. He couldn't shake the feeling that someone was riding with him. Determined to understand, he drove back to that same stretch of road, and there, half buried in the dirt, he found a small gold locket. Inside, the photo of a little girl. He took it to a nearby town. An elderly woman looked at the photo and went pale. She said, "That's Emily. Her family's car crashed here almost 30 years ago. They all died, except her. They never found her body." Mike threw the locket away the moment he got back to the truck. But when he started the engine, the laughter returned, louder this time, and between the giggles, a child's voice whispered softly, "Thank you for remembering me." Mike still drives. He says he's gotten used to the laughter, but sometimes when the radio turns on by itself late at night, he hears Emily singing a lullaby, and he never dares to turn it off. Tom had been driving for nearly 14 hours straight. His eyes burned, his hands ached, and his body screamed for rest. When he spotted an empty lot off the highway, an old roadside chapel half swallowed by weeds and rusted crosses, it seemed like the perfect place to park and sleep. The air felt heavy, but exhaustion won. He locked the doors, reclined the seat, and drifted off. Sometime after midnight, he woke to murmurs, dozens of voices, whispering, prayers, or something like them. He peered out the window. The moonlight revealed a line of hooded figures walking slowly around the chapel, holding candles that flickered but never went out. Tom's heart hammered in his chest. They were chanting in a language he didn't recognize, deep, rhythmic, almost hypnotic. He grabbed his flashlight and shined it toward them. The beam passed straight through their bodies. They cast no shadows. Panic gripped him. He stepped out of the truck, trying to make sense of what he was seeing. The chanting stopped. Every hooded head turned toward him at once. One figure began to approach, slow, deliberate. The hood slipped down. Beneath it, nothing. No eyes, no mouth, no face, just a hollow, pulsing void. Tom ran back to the cab, slammed the door, and floored it. The chanting grew louder, following him for miles until it vanished completely. When the sun rose, he returned to the site with a few other drivers. The chapel was empty, collapsed, long abandoned. No footprints, no candles, nothing. At the gas station nearby, an old man asked where he'd parked that night. When Tom told him, the man shook his head. "You slept near St. Matthew's Chapel? Nobody stops there twice." Tom never did. But sometimes, parked on the shoulder of some lonely highway,
he hears it again, faint chanting in the wind, a prayer from nowhere, calling his name. 3 stories, 3 truckers, 3 memories that will never fade. Out on the open road, there are things you can't explain, only survive. So if you ever find yourself driving alone at night and you hear someone whisper your name, whatever you do, don't look in the mirror. Now tell me, have you ever experienced something strange on the road? Share your story in the comments. The scariest ones might become a future video.